Everybody, welcome back to another episode of FSI DFS Fantasy NFL Picks. I'm your Guru 31. Thursday Night Football, another not great matchup. Got Chicago, got Carolina, pretty low total. Bears actually back in 1985, yeah, I'm older. Was actually one of my first teams that I followed, first watching football. It was a great year for that because that was the year they won the championship. So got out my old Bears jersey. It's got my number on it, 31. So uh we'll see what happens tonight. Like Carolina knew that they were kind of rebuilding. Think Chicago thought that they were into the process and getting almost to the other side of the process. I think they brought in like more, like Fields should have taken some stuff forward. But then just injuries knocked out the running backs and Fields, and it just hasn't clicked. And they had like Claypool and he didn't work out. And so, but people are starting to get healthier. I mean, Fields is not back yet. He was cleared, but he's not playing tonight. Bagant is going to be starting. So, it should be a good game just to pre-weekend, just kick back, watch some football, and maybe it's a defensive grind out game, or maybe it surprises us. You never know. I thought Chicago was going to be toast last weekend in their matchup, and the quarterback did decent. Komet caught a couple of touchdown passes. Even though Johnson was back, Foreman definitely had the most of the shares of the carries. So I mean that's good. Herbert, it looked like, was back too, but he's gonna be inactive tonight. So down the road, this backfield could get very, very muddy. But right now, I think we kind of had a clear picture. So in cash games, Foreman's definitely going to be my number one option. I think that the Bears want to run the ball. They want to throw the ball second. So he's the one that should get the carries. And Carolina hasn't been a great defense at stopping the run. So I think that's where I want to start. And then Santos, the kicker. I think kickers are going to low scoring game. Kickers and defense are usually golden here. Neither D is great, so I can't recommend them in the core. But I think Santos is the kicker because he's at home, and I think Chicago, they have the higher score here. So I think that definitely he should be able to score some points. And then I'm going to run back with Thielen because Thielen had a down game last game. And again, this past defense isn't anything really to write home about. They did make some acquisitions during the trade deadline that should help with pass rush and potentially, but I think Thielen should rebound back and get some volume. So it leaves you a good chunk of change. And this is a slate where you might want to leave some money on the table. So don't try to pay up and fill everything. If you like your lineup, go for it. And as I've said in these Showdown slate videos before, you really need to build like little storylines in every single lineup. Like your cash, you like take the best available and floor players there, but like your GPPs, you're building storylines in each one. Make sure that the storyline doesn't have a negative correlation with like all your players, unless you need to go five that fit in, and then you just need to figure out your sixth guy and just take whoever the best available players left in that price range. That works too. So Bears defense, I think, is definitely playing cash. You want to go there. I don't like Carolina as much. They're more of a GPP. Pinheiro, the other kicker, I think is definitely in play. Komet, just because we saw that Bagnet was definitely somebody he was a target of him. And then Chuba Hubbard should be ahead of Sanders still and get most of the share of the runs there. Even though Chicago's better against the run, I think he's still in play. If you want to go either quarterback and in cash, I'm fine with it. I think they're probably, to me, more of GPP because I think both run offenses are going to be run first and it's going to be a low scoring game. But I definitely prefer Chicago's QB over Carolina's. So GPP, give me more and give me the Chicago quarterback because that would be kind of the contrarian play there. If they're going to be passing the ball, this for some reason does turn into a shootout, and then run it back with Bryce Young on the other side. And fill-ins there, like say Carolina D, Sanders. If you don't trust that Hubbard or you want to take a shot that maybe Hubbard's ineffective and they go back to Sanders for some reason. Rashawn Johnson, I think, is in play in GPP. And if Chicago's going to run the ball a lot, and Foreman might be the one early on, and then they might turn it over to Johnson, especially if they build a lead and everything. And then Herbst, I know he's been sharing kind of snaps with Tremble, but I think he's the one that I trust in GPP. And I think you can play Tremble too. And they're about in the same price range, and maybe I'll just put a slash on that one. So it's so it's like both of them are in play here. But I don't really love either one of them, but that's why they're GPP fill-ins. For punts, Mingo is definitely with injury should be in play, and this guy is going to break a slate sometime. Like he's got so much speed and potential. We just need to hopefully one of these times, and this might be the defense that it works out against. So I think he's in play. Marshall Jr. should also get some play too as the third wide receiver there for Carolina. Scott's the third wide receiver pretty much for the Bears, and then Velus Jones. St. Brown's out there also, but I really don't like him. I think Jones and Scott would probably outscore if you're punting St. Brown. So for contrarian, obviously I'm going to go with the Carolina. So Thielen, Young, I'm going to run it back with Komet. I thought about throwing, I don't know, he's not up on the board like Mooney there, but I just think Mooney really hasn't done much. He's kind of priced in no man's land. So if you want to go there, that's fine. But if I'm going cheap, like Marshall Jr. or Mingo, I'm going to start there and then just throw in both quarterbacks, and you can probably pretty much build whoever you want to into that line. Some other lines to consider that I did build out, and again, these are lines where you're going to leave money on the table, and one of them I think I left even, it was almost close to 10K. But if you want to go to the Bears defense and take both running backs from the Bears and maybe even Hubbard and both kickers, then that's potentially a story if you think it's going to be low scoring and they're only going to have field goals and nobody's going to score a touchdown. Kickers at captain work also in here too, just because with like the low scoring potentially with two bad teams, then either Santos or Pinheiro as your captain, and then just build a game script around them where probably like want the running back and D or both kickers, and so that's another way to play around with the captain spot. Is like a defense or the kicker and running backs. What would it be in a low scoring? I think you still throw like Thielen out there or more if you think that they're going to get I'd probably go with Komet over more. Like you want to find like the volume receiver where if they might not get in the end zone, but if they're getting like the yards and the catches, but maybe it's the running backs, like you just gotta, like, again, just in your head, like what do you think the game script's going to be, and then just plan out your line. And like I said, at least the 5 players that way. And then if you have money left and want to spring for somebody like Thielen or Moore or one of the quarterbacks and pay up, then that makes sense too. So it's kind of what we got for you. This is another one where it hasn't hit yet this year, and maybe it won't this season, but I'm still in the 50-cent one. I'm going to have a Dalton line. I'm going to have a Peterman line, because you never know in these games if one of the quarterbacks goes out earlier, is inefficient, and the other one comes in and just on fire and lights it up. But you have so much leverage over the field, so always do that. Again, the only week it worked out was the first one when Aaron Rodgers went down, and I had Zach Wilson. And I mean, I didn't have the other right pieces, so it wasn't like super lucrative, but it was enough to pay off for me playing every single showdown slate on Thursdays and Mondays with a 50-cent quarterback lines. Okay, I should at least break even for the year. So we got for you. If you have any questions, you can put them in the chat below. Hit me up at MegaRoar31 on X/Twitter. If you want more information on FSI DFS, you can go into a description of the video, and it has like all the information to get to our website, what our packages are, things like that. Very affordable. And you get Rod and Jay Scott's core, and they have both had some really creative builds and advice for some of these showdown slates. Beyond my insight, and we've done pretty well as a team, so I really have enjoyed working with them, and had some pretty good return on investment this season. So that's what we got for you. So hopefully this if turns out to be a decent game, and you're able to make some money to build up your bankroll for the weekend. So keep in mind, I'll have the regular week 10 NFL preview coming up. And we did just go back to like the Monday night one. Like one of the players that we had for the cheap build, like was the guy that scored return for the touchdown. That line actually worked out to be pretty good in GPP. So hopefully you watched and took advantage of that. So thanks for watching. If these videos help us back, like the channel, subscribe to our channel so you know when they're like the video, subscribe to our channel so you know when the videos are coming out, and share with your friends. So appreciate you watching, and we'll see you this weekend for the week 10 preview, and hope you have a great weekend, and good luck in your contest. I'll see you next time.